Hi there everybody, this is David, and I recently got a hold of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, Isekai Chronicles. Yeah, it's quite a mouthful right here, but today I do want to give you my impression of this kind of off-kilter, weird, kind of Talesy meets Valkyrie profile anime game. And I do think that is worth a sub as I try my hardest to hit 100,000 subscribers. And with your help, your like, and your sub, I do think that I can get there. So, not only does this game retell the events of the anime series, but it also adds in some new adventures straight just for the game in the Jura Tempest Foundation. So this one here, it's definitely for the fans. It's being released for the PS4, PS5, Xbox, Switch, and PC, so you can pretty much get it anywhere. And whenever I first heard about this game a couple of months ago, when it was first being announced for localization and translation and all that kind of stuff, I didn't know much about it, to be quite honest with you, but everybody in the comments was like, hey, you know, David, you should really check this out because the anime was pretty good. So sometimes, I don't really watch a whole lot of TV, I really don't. But sometimes if I go downstairs and start cross-stitching and stuff, I have to put something on. So I put the anime on, and I watched about the first 5 or 6 episodes, and it was pretty cute. It was no Downton Abbey, but it was pretty cute. The game itself alternates between visual novel type scenes and also animated cutscenes. And again, it is based straight off the anime. Like, I only watched a couple of episodes, like I just said, but it was definitely straight out of the anime. A couple of things that kind of bothered me, it probably won't bother you, but it definitely bothered me, was that there is only Japanese voice acting. There is no English option whatsoever. That all being said, though, it is the anime voice cast. It isn't like some new voice cast just for the game. These are the anime voice casts that you know and love. Now, for the most part, that's perfectly fine for the game. Until you go into the town and you talk to the NPCs, because the NPCs literally just talk to you. There's no writing on the screen whatsoever, they just talk. So if you don't know Japanese, it's just, you know, babble to you. So I'm sitting there, I was like, there's no reason to talk to the NPCs, because I can't understand them anyway. Also, there is a normal and a story difficulty that you can choose from, although I've gotta say the normal difficulty is kind of easy enough. The story difficulty just halves the amount of damage that enemies will do to you. Because this is a lot of cutscenes and a lot of kind of rehashing the anime, there is the option to skip cutscenes if you would like to. You can also fast forward through them, or you can have them auto-scroll. Personally, I chose to have them auto-scroll so I didn't have to hit the A button all the time. And about the first 10 or so minutes of the game is literally just straight up retelling visual novel, here's the anime, and then you get into the game proper. There are 2 different game modes. There is a town mode and a dungeon mode. In the town mode, you have your buildings that you can build and all that kind of stuff that kind of influence your stats, and you can use the buildings, like you can go to the tavern and you can hang out there. And if you do that, then you will get those stat increases. Then from there, you can head out into the world map, which is literally just a map. It's like a blank slate. It reminds me of the map of Breath of Fire 4, where, you know, you're like, here's your town, here's the dungeon, just move there on a straight line. And you can look and you can see that there are various missions in these various dungeons that you can go to. And there's also the main quests and the side quests there as well. Some of the challenge missions would be like defeating all the enemies, or successfully hitting on combos, or achieving S ranks whenever you're in there. Whenever you do go into a dungeon, it's very Valkyrie profile? I don't know how else to explain it. You explore in a very 2D manner. As you go through, you can kind of go up a passage, you can go down a passage, and each of the rooms are shown on a mini-map in the upper right-hand corner. You can encounter enemies, and you can't dodge them, they're just kind of there. If you enter the room, you're going to encounter the enemy. But also at the same time, if you enter the room, you're going to encounter a treasure chest as well, just depending on what is in the room. We're going to get into combat in just a little bit, but let me talk about the treasure chest, because this is odd. You don't just open up the chest, your luck plays a big part in what is actually in the chest, and a little gauge comes up above the treasure chest, and then you go ahead and you hit the gauge, and then you want to stop it in the middle to get the best treasures. But it doesn't stop immediately. It'll slow down. So it's kind of annoying because you're like, oh, I want to stop it right there in the middle, but you need to stop it before the middle to get it into the middle, you know, because the gauge just kind of slows down. Then there's the battle system. This is where I would compare it mostly to something like Tales, but like early Tales, like SNES, Tales of Fantasia, Tales, not even like Tales of Eternia. That's too modern. That's too much. Like, the earlier the better. You can really only attack with low, medium, or high attacks. You can use your skills, and that's with the Y button, but there's only 4 skills per party member. Whenever you use those skills, it will pause combat. The skills really just deal damage. There's no like healing skill or buffing skill or debuffing skill. It's damage, 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 damage. And then depending on how much damage that you do, you are ranked after battle. And depending on how well you do, how high your rank is, you're given better rewards such as gold and items. For the most part, your companions, they just kind of hang out in the back and they don't do all that much. Kind of like, Tales of Destiny where Stan did all the work. If you do want to control your other party members though, you can. That really isn't an issue, and after each battle, you will restore some HP. Some of the more powerful monsters, like the bosses and stuff, will have super armor, and you have to break that before you're actually able to damage them. You can also use, your over limit, or your secret skill with the R2 button to deal some extra damage. I will say this, the combat can feel rather stiff at times. Changing around your party members, it's not the most intuitive thing, it's easy enough to do, and then you can only have 3 party members in battle at one time. However, you can bring along support characters, and literally all they do is you can use them for like a special support attack, and that's it. They don't help you in any other way, just special support attacks. After you clear the dungeon, you're automatically sent back to the town, and then you move on to your next quest. Here, you can talk to people with an exclamation point over their head for side quests, and they are cute little side quests. They do give you good rewards, or you can just stick with the main quests. But again, don't bother talking to the NPCs, because you ain't gonna understand a fricking thing that they say. From the battles, you do get gold, which is literally just for building stuff in the town. There's no items to buy, there's no healing potions or reviving potions or equipment. It's just for building stuff in the town. Then there's GP, and I figured, back in the day, GP was gold points, so I thought it was the same thing, but no, it's different from gold. It's, I guess, skill points, which should be SP, but it's GP, so I'm kind of confused. And you use this GP to unlock passive skills on a skill web. But everybody has the exact same skill web, although the web will grow a little bit more as you unlock more and more and more of the story. The graphics, to me, they felt kind of like the graphics of maybe Tales of Symphonia on the GameCube, and while that might sound like an insult to some of y'all, honestly, I thought that they were quite beautiful. I've always thought that the GameCube has some pretty beautiful graphics, and Tales of Symphonia had some nice graphics too. But when I first saw the hero, Rimuru, it reminded me of like a blue-haired Colette. Like, maybe it's the hair, I don't know, but I'm totally seeing a blue-haired Colette. So this game, I would say it is for the fans. This is old school Tales in all but name, even as far as like the talking skits where they show just their heads in like a little square and everything. But this is basic as basic can be. There is, every time that you use a skill, it pauses the battle. There's a limited amount of skills. So it's not even like healing or buffing or anything. There's no towns. There's no equipment. The town building is really basic. The battling is super basic. Everything is very formulaic. It is town, dungeon, town, dungeon, town, dungeon. It's very much by the books. So I would say that this game really is for super fans of the anime series only. If you love this anime series and you cannot get enough, then buy this game. If you love the Tales series, the older Tales series, and you cannot get enough, then buy this game. But if you're just looking for like, the next AAA game, you're not gonna find it here. This is, I would say, hate to say it, but it's true, a bit below average. So that's it for my impressions and review of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, Isekai Chronicles. Hope that y'all enjoyed this, and as always, have a good day.